We are back with Josh Holder, this guy, chief engineer for the ZR1. I see him all over the place.
I see you at all the cool places.
You got the coolest job.
I do.
And not only that, think about like your position now that you guys have set the fastest production car time for an American vehicle at the Nürburgring.
We are so proud. It is such a cool moment in Corvette history to have our deep bench of super talented engineers, not race car drivers, but with a lot of driving experience and talent. They tune the Corvette on tracks like the Nürburgring, but tracks all over the world. We've had a lot of customer input about, hey, go out there and do something.
Yeah, everyone wanted to see it. I wanted to see it.
And we were so happy we finally got to do it. But the car is amazing. But to me, the better part, of course I'm biased, is the people part.
You have to have a really good team to be able to make a fast car at the Nürburgring, but then even a better team to have drivers capable. Capable, and they don't live out there, right? No. It was Brian Wallace.
Yes.
Aaron Link, great guy, Aaron Link. And then, what was it? Drew, yep. Great guys, and they're not from there. They're from out here.
They're not. They have a lot of laps on the Nürburgring, but obviously it's not our home track. It's not convenient to set up and go to the Nürburgring. We go there to tune the car. There's no other place in the world, 73 turns, all kinds of elevation changes, to get it all in one spot. That's why we go there. We don't go there to set records until this recent trip. And we're super glad we got to do it. But I get the privilege of being able to work on this awesome team, just a small part of this awesome team. I learn something new every day. I work with the most talented people. And it's great. We're just so proud of what we've done.
Were you on site during the lap time test?
I was not there for the lap time test. I was back rooting from Michigan,
you were?
paying close attention. There was a lot of back and forth support, as you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
We kept the crew going there as small as we could so we could focus on the laps happening. But as the cars were already kind of developed for production, it was a relatively easy endeavor as far as making sure the cars were up to speed.
I would love to ask you a few quick questions about basically like what the team learned from taking this car out there in the Nürburgring. Obviously, you guys have done so much testing there, but to be able to put down a really fast lap like you guys did, well, what have you learned about the potential you guys have in the car right now and even for the future?
I would say we validated our mission with the mid-engine Corvette. The ZR1 represents a massive leap forward. If you think about 1,064 horsepower and what that would have been like in a front engine car like the previous generation Corvettes, you just can't put that kind of power to the ground. And to plan the architecture from the very beginning, which is exactly what we did for this wide LT7 twin turbo beast of an engine to fit inside the chassis structure of all Corvettes. We brought it into the Stingray knowing all along we were going to have this incredible ZR1. And to do the tuning work that the team has done on tracks like Nürburgring, but not just there, all over the US, helps validate that we bring together a car that's more than just the sum of its incredible parts.
Well, let me ask you this question, because I know with this vehicle it has softer spring rates than like the Z07, is that correct?
This car is sitting here with the ZTK would about match the frequency of a Z07. However, the standard ZR1, if there really is such a thing, is softer than the standard Z06. So that's the Executive Express, if you think about that car. Super, super capable, still got all the power. It's the top speed king, 233 miles an hour, yet you can drive it across the country in comfort. My wife and I just did that, actually.
Really?
So it's not a 20-minute car like you might think it is just looking at the pure stats of the car. It's a car you can live in and enjoy, and an incredible machine.
I'm curious, have you guys changed at all the spring rates with the ZR1X edition versus like if you have the ZTK ZR1X, for example, and then you have a standard ZR1, obviously it'll be a bit different, right?
Right. We do change the springs themselves to compensate for the additional weight of the ZR1X, but we don't intentionally try to tune a different ride frequency. It's to match the components and the hardware that are in that car.
Real quickly, this video is brought to you by Speed Phenom Film. Are you tired of getting rock chips on your car, especially from going to the racetrack? Well, this video is brought to you by Speed Phenom Film, your go-to destination for all your paint protection film needs. Located in Carlsbad, California, call 760-496-8607 today, or check out the contact information in the description down below to find out a quote completely for free and with zero hassle. Protect your car today so you can enjoy it. Back to the video.
One other thing I was really curious about is how did you find the balance with high speed downforce with the ZTK ZR1 versus Z07, because I ended up buying the Z07. I love that car on track. Obviously, this is way more, right? 1,200 pounds of downforce, close to top speed, versus, what was like 700-ish for the Z06?
About 734 at 186 miles an hour. This is touching 1,200 pounds of downforce at that speed. And it was really enabled by, if you look at the flow-through hood up front. So this serves two functional purposes. One is to do a super efficient job at cooling the turbocharger. So our intercooler heat exchanger lives in that area of the hood, but we maximize flow through the grill, over the hood, and over top of the car. That also generates downforce, because if you think about it, you got a big pressure relief at the front of the car, helping the splitter to be more efficient, generating downforce, and to balance the car, we've got the aggressive rear wing to help all that out.
Are there any differences with the underbody aero with a ZR1 ZTK versus like a Z06?
There are some differences in strakes and deflector heights on the front of the car just to help maintain that aero balance. In fact, you can get a ZR1, obviously, they all have a flow-through hood, but what we do is we remove the dive planes, we take them off on a car without the large wing, and we stall the splitter with some flaps underneath the car to help stall that air, so we depower the splitter. Then when you wanted this big package, we can remove those, we add the dive planes. It's another example of the modular way in which we plan our Corvette models.
Very, yeah. You can see with the hood, the wing. So one thing I'm really curious about, and I've learned this from tracking a lot of vehicles, you know, you can have cars that have such high performance potential, but what I noticed when I first got into the C8 platform is, like you were saying earlier, with the mid-engine platform, you have that increased weight out back that helps you get on power earlier. So what I'm getting at is, did you find that with all the increased downforce, did that substantially improve driver confidence in the higher speed corners with this versus like a Z06? Like did that extra downforce translate to more driver confidence?
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things we're the most proud of, is how approachable this car is. And you wouldn't think it when you look at the stat sheet for the car. But anyone that's drove it is amazed at how approachable it is, not just on track, but everyday driving. You think about the weight difference, the weight bias difference, about 10%. Doesn't seem like a lot. It makes a massive difference for getting on power out of corner. The center of mass is right at the driver's seat. So even when the car starts to rotate, it's rotating around you, so you can feel everything the car is doing like you're used to in your Z06. It's no different in a car with even more power like the ZR1. It telegraphs what it's doing at the limit and never tries to bite you like you might think of a car with this much power.
One thing I've been very not concerned about, but curious about, is tire consistency. How are the Cup 2Rs with the team on that massive track?
Well, our partner in Michelin couldn't be more cooperative with us. They do a whole bunch to develop the tire. They were with us when we set the record at the Nürburgring.
Nice.
One of the things they've done to help improve the Cup 2R tire is its longevity and its progressivity. So how it behaves at the limit, how quickly it comes up to temp, that's obviously a big knob in helping driver confidence. When you're at the limit, you want the car to tell you you're getting at that limit, not all of a sudden lose grip or all of a sudden start to yaw. And the thoughtful chassis controls, the way we develop onset for anti-lag boost onset, that's also a challenge in a turbocharged engine because oftentimes the power delivery is not linear. So things like throttle progression and balance of aero performance, like I talked about before, all come together to give this driving experience that feels super approachable.
I believe Aaron Link told me one time that with run flats designed within these tires, the ZPs, does it give you more rigidity with the actual tire itself?
Yeah, there is certainly some stiffness in construction that a zero pressure tire, a run flat tire brings. But I'll tell you, the run flat tires have changed a lot. When they first came out, they weren't necessarily a performance tire, and I think they got kind of a bad rap. What I would tell you now is most of the structure of the tire is mandated by the lateral loads and the vertical loads that go into the tire, not the run flat capability of it. So the extra mass that people might think is inside the tire only for run flat is kind of gone. Everything about the tire construction is multi-purpose. And when you think about a car like the ZR1, for example, the hub pattern on the rear wheel is larger on the ZR1. That gives you an idea of how much power output. And in fact, we had to change construction on the rear tire because we overachieved on power of the engine, and Michelin was there all along the way. So they're a great partner.
You know what? I know you've been very generous with your time. I have one last big question for you. Do you guys have any tips for people if they get a ZR1 and they want to go on the Nürburgring to put down a quick lap time? Because you guys would know from your experience.
There are many tips. That's a complicated track, so it would have to be a lesson. Okay. But I would say this, when you get a ZR1, take advantage of the package that we offer with Spring Mountain. Get to know the car. Get to know yourself behind the car. It's a very capable machine. We like to say with great power comes great responsibility. So I would encourage everyone that gets a ZR1 to get to know themselves in the car and take advantage of things like Spring Mountain driving classes and ease your way into it. And then if you think you're ready for the Nürburgring and can manage the logistics of getting there,
you start with the sim in that room over there. If you make it to the leaderboard, okay, maybe that's green light to spend more money into it.
Right.
Thank you so much, Josh. I love talking
Oscar.
with you on
All right,
camera.
great talking to you
Hope
too.
you drive one soon.
All right.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, it really helps us out, and subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. While you do that, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video coming out. I'll see you in the next episode.